To comprehend ancient India's history, we must delve into the contentious theory of the Aryan invasion. According to this hypothesis, India experienced an invasion and subjugation by nomadic, light-skinned Indo-European tribes known as the Aryans, hailing from Central Asia around 1500 to 1000 BCE. These Aryans are believed to have conquered a pre-existing and more advanced civilization of dark-skinned Dravidians, from which they appropriated much of what would later form the basis of Indian civilization. In this process, the Aryans, regrettably, failed to acknowledge the indigenous people from whom they borrowed, effectively erasing any traces of their conquest. Essentially, the Aryans contributed their language, Sanskrit, of Indo-European origin, and introduced the priestly caste system, which would later become a significant aspect of Indian society. The Aryan invasion theory serves as the foundation for the perspective that Indian history predominantly comprises Western invasions, with minimal indigenous influence in terms of population or cultural innovations. It paints the history of India as a series of external incursions, from the Aryans to the Persians, Greeks, Scythians, Huns, Arabs, Turks, Portuguese, British, and more. The so-called pre-Aryan or Dravidian civilization is said to be evidenced by the extensive urban remains associated with the Indus Valley culture, initially concentrated along the Indus River, or Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, named after two of its major sites that extended beyond the Indus River. This civilization is dated from 3100 to 1900 BC. According to the invasion theory, Indic civilization is considered the creation of a pre-Vedic society, and the Vedas, despite their vast literature, are regarded as products of a dark age following its demise. The revival of pre-Vedic culture during post-Vedic times is credited with the resurgence of urban civilization in India. The Aryan invasion theory holds far-reaching implications beyond academia. During the colonial era, the British employed it to create divisions in India, emphasizing North-South and Aryan-Dravidian distinctions. Some southern Indian politicians have embraced this theory as a central element in projecting Dravidian identity. Furthermore, the theory forms the basis of the Marxist interpretation of Indian history, with caste struggle replacing class struggle. It depicts the so-called pre-Aryan indigenous people as the oppressed masses and the invading Aryans as the oppressive and corrupt ruling elite. Christian and Islamic missionaries have leveraged this theory to belittle the Hindu religion, portraying it as a creation of barbaric invaders, as they endeavor to convert Hindus. The Aryan invasion theory was not limited to the Indian subcontinent, it found application in Europe and the Middle East as well. According to this theory, the Indo-Europeans, including the Aryans, invaded these regions during the 2nd millennium BC. This theory laid the foundation for a Near Eastern perspective of civilization, where the earliest civilizations were believed to have arisen in Mesopotamia, influencing and giving rise to all others. Consequently, this theory has been employed to position Eastern religions like Hinduism and Buddhism as derivatives of Western religions such as Christianity and Islam, which are considered representatives of the world's original civilization originating from Adam, the biblical first man, who hailed from Mesopotamia. Curiously, the ancient civilization found in Mesopotamia bears a closer resemblance to Hinduism, with its multitude of gods and goddesses and temple worship, than to these later aniconic traditions. At the heart of Hinduism lies the Rig Veda, a compilation of over 1,000 hymns that encapsulate the mythology of the Hindu deities and is considered one of the foundational texts of the Hindu religion. While the Rig Veda stands as the oldest among the Vedas, there are 3 other Vedas. The Sama Veda deals with the knowledge of chants and includes fundamental hymns recited during sacrifices. The Yaja Veda, or knowledge of rites, essentially serves as a manual for conducting sacrifices. The art of a Veda represents knowledge imparted by Athra, a sage. These Vedas were transmitted orally across many generations. When they were eventually recorded in writing, they were initially inscribed in Vedic, an early form of Sanskrit. It wasn't until around 300 BCE that the Vedas took the form in which we know them today. The Rig Veda was composed by the Aryans, who entered the Indus Valley towards the end of the Harappan civilization, crafting this Veda between 1300 and 1000 BCE, a period marked by the Aryan migrations. Intriguingly, there might be traces of Harappan influence on these works because the development of the Vedas commenced prior to the Aryan arrival around 2000 BC. Among the various Vedas, the Rig Veda holds the utmost significance, housing over 1,000 hymns dedicated to the gods. These hymns encompass praises, blessings, sacrifices, and even curses, serving as the primary avenue through which the Aryan people expressed their devotion to their deities. The hymns delve into the personification of the forces of nature and are composed in poetic language, enabling them to be chanted, fostering a sense of reverence during religious ceremonies. These hymns are believed to have been chanted by the Aryans in their religious rituals, evoking a transcendent state of consciousness in the worshipper. Deep within the annals of India's spiritual heritage lie the Vedas, revered as the oldest and most significant scriptures. These sacred texts form the bedrock of Hinduism, treasured for the profound spiritual insights they contain. The Vedas serve as a compass for inner exploration, and their genesis is attributed to seers or ancient prophets who, while in a state of divine inspiration, channeled these profound revelations. Among these scriptures, there are four principal Vedas: the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. Each of these is further divided into two categories: works and knowledge. The former encompasses hymns and guidelines pertaining to rituals, ceremonies, and codes of conduct, while the latter delves into the profound understanding of divinity. The Rig Veda, which likely took shape between 1500 BC and 900 BC, stands as one of the earliest compositions. However, as time progressed, spiritual seekers began to yearn for more profound insights than what the Vedas alone offered. They sensed that there was something more profound and spiritually fulfilling awaiting discovery. In response, these contemplative souls compiled the profound teachings and wisdom they received from their spiritual mentors. This compilation came to be known as the Upanishads, and those who compiled it were called the Upanishads themselves, a term that literally means came near to or sat close to the gurus. The Upanishads emerged as a response to the evolving needs and aspirations of the Indo-Aryan people. They were transitioning away from the traditional sacrificial rituals of the Vedas, finding them increasingly unsatisfying in their quest for deeper spiritual understanding. The Upanishads sought to expand upon the spiritual wisdom already present in the Vedic scriptures. These texts delved beyond the conventional Vedic perspective of reality, which was primarily rooted in the physical realm. They ventured into the profound realms of human existence, probing into life's fundamental questions: the nature of God and humanity, the interplay between the soul and divinity, humanity's purpose in the world, the quest for true salvation, and the path to oneness with existence. A fundamental distinction between the Vedas and the Upanishads lies in their roles within Hinduism. The Vedas are revered as the foundational texts of the faith, providing its spiritual bedrock. On the other hand, the Upanishads serve as the vehicle for attaining the enlightenment that unites individuals with the essence of existence. In essence, the Vedas lay the groundwork for understanding, while the Upanishads provide the means to achieve profound spiritual insight. Throughout history, Hinduism has been characterized by an unceasing quest for the meaning of life. This quest is evident in the Vedas and Upanishads as they explore humanity's relationship with the divine, the world, and the pursuit of genuine salvation. The Hindu faith's evolution traces its roots back to the ancient Vedic scriptures and incorporates the profound teachings of the Upanishads. In modern times, Hindus widely acknowledge the Upanishads as a necessary complement to the Vedas. These texts represent the first coherent attempt to provide philosophical solutions to the spiritual questions, dilemmas, and challenges that have marked the spiritual journey of the Hindu people.